Hi everyone, today I am going to teach you a very interesting chapter which is the power sharing. It is very interesting and very easy also, which is a chapter of class 10th civics chapter first named power sharing. So what is the power sharing and why the power sharing? What is the role of power sharing in the democratic country? This is all I am going to teach you, and the form of power sharing and why the power sharing is the desirable, in which there are two aspects, prudential region and the moral region. And this all I am going to teach you through an example in which the NCRT given by the example of Sri Lanka and the Belgium. So all the things which I am going to teach you today, after watching this video, nothing you will remain with that you don't know about this chapter. So starting this chapter with the case of Sri Lanka. That means whenever you are understanding any very interesting thing, you have to start with an example. Then you will able to understand what is going on really. So today I am going to teach you what the case of Sri Lanka. First of all, Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka. So what is going in the Sri Lanka? Before this topic, I would like to introduce you little bit so that you could understand what I am going to teach. So you must understand that the Sinhala, which is a religion, which is a language, the 74% of the people of the Sri Lanka speaks the Sinhala, which belongs to the Buddhist religion. Who is in the Sinhalas are the in the majority because it is the 74% of the population. That means they used to taken the majoritarian steps. That means they used to dominate over the minority by disregarding their interest in the rights and so on. But in the Brussels there are also a 59% which speaks the German, and the 40% who speaks the 40% who speaks the French, and the 59% who speak the Dutch, and the 1% who the German. So as you are able to see that here the 59%, that means the majority population speaks the Dutch, but here the Dutch is in the majority but not ruling over the minority French or the German. So this is what I am going to discuss, why they were not ruling, but in the case of Sri Lanka they were ruling to the minority, and how the this leads to a conflict in the Sri Lanka. But in the case of Belgium it is very peaceful, and in last in the case in this peaceful thing, the Brussels were chosen as the headquarter of the European Union. Brussels is the capital of the Belgium. So all the things, as you are able to see that what is the consensus of power sharing, as the power sharing done in the Belgium. So the Belgium is chosen as in the headquarter, but when in the Sri Lanka the power is not shared, it leads to a conflict or civil war. Civil war means when the people of the country fight between each other for some reason. This is called the civil war. So all the things, as you are able to see that what is the consensus that is going to happen when the power is not shared or when the power is shared. So this I am going to teach you through the ethnicity of the Sri Lanka. Then I will teach you about the ethnicity of Belgium. Then why the power sharing desirable, in which I am going to discuss prudential moral region and the form of power sharing. So starting with the Sri Lanka. So I would like to tell you the ethnic composition of the Sri Lanka. What do you mean by ethnic composition? Ethnic composition means the differences lies. The differences lies on the basis of caste, gender, religion, and the language, literature, and so many things. So mainly we have to study the differences between their caste, religion, and the language. So I am going to teach you the ethnicity. That means you have to understand the differences based on the religion and the language. So if I am talking about the Sri Lanka, so in the Sri Lanka, 74% of its population consists of Sinhala. Sinhala speaker. That means Sinhala, who is the Buddhist mainly. The Sinhala is the language the 75% of the Sri Lankan people speaks the Sinhala, that belongs to the Buddhism, which belongs to the Buddhist religion, and this is the language. And the 18% belongs to the Tamil speaking. That means the 18% of the population belongs to Tamil speaking, who were mainly the Hindus and Muslim, who were Hindus and the Muslim. So as you able to see that we have the 70% who speak the Sinhala, were the Buddhist, and the 18% who speaks the Tamil belongs to the Hindu and Muslim religion, in which we have also the two categories, where one is the 5% and one is the 13%. 13% are Sri Lankan Tamil, Sri Lankan Tamil, Sri Lanka Tamil, and this is Indian Tamil. So you will say how the Indian Tamil are in the Sri Lanka. So you must understand that during the colonial period, that means when the British is controlling over the India or ruling over the India, the Indian people are transported from the India to the Sri Lanka for the commercial purpose or for the plantation as a plantation worker during the colonial period. So this is why the 5% are the 5% of the Tamil belongs to the Sri Lanka, and you will also able to see that the Tamil and the Kerala, which is a state which belongs to very nearest to the Sri Lanka, and from there the state the people has been taken through the ships to the Sri Lanka as in plantation worker during the colonial period. And the rest of the population 7% belongs to the Christian who speaks the many variant language, and rest of the population data is not given in the books. So you have to understand this thing, that 75% Sinhala speaks the Buddhism, and 18% Tamil speaks the 18% Tamil who belongs to Hindu and the Muslim. 5% are Indian Tamil, 13% are Sri Lankan Tamil. But as I said that power is not shared in the Sri Lanka. Power is not shared. Power is not shared. So what is happening, and how can you say that power is not shared in the Sri Lanka? So before this, as I teach you the ethnicity of the Sri Lanka, and now I am going to teach you the ethnicity of Belgium. Then after I will tell you what is the consensus of this all the things, and the ethnicity of Belgium. So if I am talking about the Belgium, so Belgium is a European country, which is surrounded by the France, Germany, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands. As I tell you, it is surrounded by France, Germany, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands. So it can be also asked in the MCQ form, by which country the Belgium is surrounded. So you could also say that it is a landlocked country. Now I am going to talk about the ethnicity of the Belgium. So here we have the 59% the population who speaks the Dutch, and live in the Flemish region. Flemish region, that means a part of country. That means if you are talking about the India, we have the northern region, southern, eastern, western. So like this, the Belgium has the Flemish region, in which the 59% who speaks the Dutch live in the Flemish region, and 49% who is the French speaking live in the Wallonia region, and 1% German speaking, this live in the both of the region, Flemish, Wallonia, and the rest of the part of the Brussels. So as you are able to see that here we have also the ethnic composition, where 59% Dutch live in the Flemish region. But as you get to know that in the Sri Lanka, 75% who belongs to the Sinhala speaker are in the majority, but here we have the majority 59%. But as you able to see that this is all I am talking about the whole country composition. But now we have to also study the capital compositions of the Brussels. Like this, you are able to see that if you talk about the India, we have the diverse population, and you will also say that in the India the 40% belongs to the Muslim and 60% belongs to the Hindu. But if I am talking about a special like the Delhi, then you will say the 90% belong to the Hindu and 10% belong to the Muslim. Like this, the case of Brussels. Brussels is the capital of the Belgium. So the Brussels, talking about the Brussels, where the 80% belongs to the French and the 20% belong to the Dutch. But here, as you are able to see that if you are talking about the whole the country, we have the 59% who belongs to the Dutch. If you are talking about the composition of whole the country, but when you are talking about a specific location, which is the capital of the Belgium, which is the Brussels, in which only the 20% are Dutch. So you could also say that in the overall the country majority belongs to the Dutchies, but if you are talking about the Brussels, then the majority belongs to the French speaking. So as you are able to get to know what is the ethnicity of the Sri Lanka and the Brussels. Now I am going to talk about, now after this teaching about the Sri Lanka and the Belgium ethnicity, I am going to tell you how the power is shared between the uh, different people who is speaking the Dutch and the French, because you have to understand this one. So as I teach you, the 70% of the population, talking about the Sri Lanka case, how the power is shared in the Sri Lanka. As you learn about the ethnicity of the Sri Lanka, but now I am going to teach you how the power is shared between the different people which belongs to a very huge ethnicity. So as you know that 74% population belongs to the Sinhala, who belongs to the Buddhist mainly. So Buddhist mainly. But as you able to see that it is the majority of the population of the Sri Lanka. So as I mentioned you earlier that the power is not shared. The power is not shared in the Sri Lanka. Power is not shared. Shared. That means the power is not shared. So how will happen? Let's suppose we have the 74% who belongs to the Sinhala and speaks the Sinhala, and the 18% population we have which speaks the Tamil. If let's suppose the power is not shared, that means there is nothing given to the Tamil which is in the minority is not given with any power. So how they will connect with the Sri Lanka? They will feel a little alienation toward their country because there is no power given to them. So like this, the Belgium government has the Sri Lankan government adopted such policies so that the Tamil were thinking or feeling to be alienation from their country. So what the Sri Lankan done? So this 74% which is in the majority taken the majoritarian steps, taken the majoritarian step, majoritarian steps. So what was the majoritarian steps taken by the Sinhala that make them feel alienated the Tamil from the Sri Lanka? So the majoritarian step is something like this. The preferential preferential policies has been followed by the Sinhala. Preferential policies has been followed by the Sinhala speaker for the good job or the opportunity for the Sinhala in the university or for them, and like this. That means if you belongs to the Sinhala speaker, then you will get the job and you will get the preferential, according to the preferential policies you will get the admission in the large university. But if you are not belonging to the Sinhala, then you are not going to get this thing. And in the 1956 act was passed through which the Sinhala becomes the official language of the Sri Lanka. That means it becomes the official language. But here we have also population 18% which is the Tamil. There is nothing given to them. So they will start feeling the alienation that something went wrong toward me. The people start thinking. So these two steps were taken and the third step were also taken, which was the Sinhala applicants were protected and fostered by the constitution. That means constitution of the Sri Lanka is organized in such a way that the people belonging to the Sinhala used to protect and foster and forbidden to move forward or achieve in the life, but not who is belonging to the Tamil. So these are the things which are going to done over the Sri Lanka, over the Tamils. So if something went wrong toward any religion or caste or group, so that they will also do some step for their own protect for their right and something like this. So what were the steps and what is the consensus or the result? All the steps taken in the Majoritarian toward the Sinhala, as the Majoritarian policies followed by the Sri Lankan Sinhalas speaker. So there must be a result. So how the people belonging to the Tamil reacted toward this? So the people of Tamil belongs to reacted toward this in such a manner. They were start wanting an independent nation. They were start wanting an independent nation, and they were also talking to form a new country or the separate country from the Sri Lanka, demanding a new nation. And they were start also form the different political parties to raise their to raise their voice against the Sinhala speaker. So these were the thinking, and the feeling of alienation also arises in the Tamils toward the Sri Lanka. So these are the thing which arises in the Sri Lankan Tamil. So now, as you get to know that when the power is not shared in the Sri Lanka, then people start violating the rule or the regulation of the country. But in the case of Belgium, it is just opposite, because the power is being shared among the different ethnic group of the Belgium. This is why the Belgium is considered one of the peace country, and this is why the Belgium is also chosen to be the headquarter of the European Union. So now talking about the case of Belgium. So in the case of Belgium, as you know that 59% which is consist of Dutch, who is in the majority, but they were not to think to follow the majoritarian step. They has taken another step, that is called the power sharing. So how the power sharing is arrangement is done, as you able to understand that a very ethnic composition is very huge in the Belgium, as the Brussels has a different ethnicity, country has a different ethnicity, we have the different language culture. So how this is going all arranged? So the accommodation in the Belgium is done by the 4 steps. So the what is the first step? Number of ministers at the central level but equal from both of the community, French and the Dutch. So as you able to get that the number of ministers in the central government are equal from both the communities, the French and the Dutch. And the second point which we get in the accommodation of Belgium is that the Brussels, which has a separate government, as the ethnicity of the Brussels is the separate from the country. As I tell you, the ethnicity of Brussels is separate from the country. This is why the Brussels have taken to be the separate unit of governance. And the another third step, the state government is not a subordinate to the central government. So what do you mean by? Let's suppose something power X is given to the state government and something power Y given to the central government. That means the central government cannot impose their policy rule over the state government, and a state government can enjoy their power independently without asking to the central government. This is what we call the state government is not a subordinate to the central government. That means when the state government wants to enjoy their power, they have not to ask from the central government. This is the third step were taken. And the fourth step, the community government is formed in the Brussels to retain the democracy or the spirit of democracy. That means the what is the third type of government? In the India we call the local government, and it is also called the community government, where a people belonging to a particular language, belonging to a particular culture, or speaks a particular language will elect a local leader who will make a law over their education, language, policies, and and also resolve the social conflict arises in that society. So this is how the power sharing is done in the Belgium. This is why the Belgium is called the peace country and there is no war. But in the Sri Lanka there leads to a civil war because of power is not shared between the ethnic composition. The majoritarian steps were taken. Now I am going to teach you another topic. Why the power sharing? Why the power sharing? In which the why the power sharing, which comes with the two topic. Why the power sharing? Power sharing, we have the two region. One is the moral region, and other is prudential region. So what do you mean by why? Before this, understanding the moral region and the prudential region, I am going to tell you why the power sharing is desirable in the democracy country or any country that making the peace. So why the power sharing? So if you arise with this question, as you have to feel that how we could get to the answer of this one. So comparing both the country Belgium and Sri Lanka, as you able to see that when the power is not shared in the Sri Lanka, then we get a conflict, civil war, the thinking of alienation from their own country, demanding a new nation state, uh, uh, a formation of many political parties for their recognition as in the language, policies and regional autonomy. So you could also say that to maintain the stability in the political order and stop the violation of the constitution, the power should be shared. So the power sharing is desirable to maintain the stability in the country and follow the constitution. This is why the power sharing. But power sharing has the two different main categories. One is the moral region and the prudential region. So as you know that when the power sharing is done in any country, that means this country belongs to the democratic nature. So this is why the moral region, that means the spirit, that means the spirit of democracy, that means it is the soul of democracy. There is no country, there cannot be a country which is the democracy but doesn't share their power with the ethnic composition. That means the democracy is all about the power sharing. The powers, without power sharing cannot a democracy country can be exist. So it is why called the spirit of democracy as very valuable. And another reason, it is the fundamental of the democracy. That means it is also fundamental of the democracy. And the democracy talks about the government by the consent through the people. That means without the power sharing, democracy cannot exist. So this is all talking about the heart to heart about the democracy. And what do you mean by prudential region? Prudential region, that means the consensus. If you are not shared the power, you could understand in this manner. So the prudential region of power sharing, so you could we have the 3 point for this. The tyranny of the majority over the minority is not just oppressive for the minority but also for the majority in the long term. So what do you mean by this? As I through this you could also say that imposing the will of majority over the minority is not just oppressive for the minority but also oppressive for the majority. That means when you are imposing your mind, your mindset, your thinking ability as you belong to the majority over the minority, it is not just oppressive for the minority but also in the long term it is oppressive for you also. You also, that means you are the belongings to the majority. And the another thing, it doesn't strengthen the unity of the country in the long term. When the power is not shared, the unity of the country cannot be happen. That means a country cannot be unilateral. It will divided into the many subgroup and division if the power is not shared. And the another thing, it maintain the stability in the political order and prevent the civil war and the stripes and the violation in the country. So these are the many regions which for which the power sharing should be done. and this is all done in the Belgium. This is why the Belgium is considered the and so now I am going to teach you the another topic. As you get to know Sri Lanka, the case of Sri Lanka, Belgium, why the power sharing desirable, and the form of power sharing. That means how the power sharing is done. As you get to know that the power is shared between the different ethnic composition in the Belgium and not shared in the Sri Lanka. But as you also know that power is shared in the Belgium. So how the power is shared? What were the steps? So the power is shared in the different form. So the form of power sharing. So first is the vertical power sharing, called the vertical power sharing. So what do you mean by vertical? As you also know that vertical means the line like this. So as in the vertical we have the central level, and then we have the state level, and then we have the local level. So the power is shared between the central level, state level and local level. This is called vertical power sharing. And when the power is sharing between the judiciary, legislature, legislature and the legislative, uh, legis- legislature and legislative, this is called the check and balance. This is called the horizontal power sharing. Horizontal power sharing, because it makes the horizontal. In this power is the different. That means let's suppose this one have the power something more greater than the state level, and the local have less than the state level, and a state have less than central level. But in the horizontal all are equal. That means all of them have the equal power, and each one of them checks the other power to utilize. This is also called the check and balance power sharing, the horizontal. And the third type of power sharing, the by between the different political party. That means in a coalition government, if a single party is not able to form their government, they used to make the coalition with the other form of government. That means both of them were enjoying a little power. This is what we call the power sharing between the different political parties. And the fourth way of power sharing is between the social group. That means let's suppose in the India also you are able to see that we have the many caste like the ST, SC, and also including the OBC, which belongs to a very lower middle class, that they cannot or afford their education, health and sanitation facility. So how they can emerge or can contribute to the GDP of the country? If they will get the power, they can rise in the country. This is why the power is also shared to that level. This is why the democracy is all about the people. And thank you for today. I think you understand this chapter.